funny way to start a podcast. Speaking of triggered, oh, howdy.
Howdy.
Well, since the last time people were here, Christmas is over.
Thank God. It wasn't as long as some years, but it went on and on a little bit.
Well, everybody perceives time differently.
Yeah.
You know, and when things are going well, it's shorter.
Yeah.
When things are going bad, it's longer.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was bad by any means at all. It's wonderful, actually.
I enjoyed it.
It just starts so freaking early.
Well, and this year was interesting.
Why?
Well, I think the timing, right? Like, Thanksgiving was sort of later, right? And so people were confused about when to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, it should have been shorter.
It should have been shorter, but instead.
But really, it's November 1st. People start now.
Oh, Halloween's over. It's immediately Christmas.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But did we clean up? We cleaned up on the 26th.
The 26th, yeah. Well, we ended up having.
We almost cleaned up on Christmas.
We thought about it, but I was busy watching The Holiday.
Yes, you finally saw The Holiday.
I finally saw The Holiday.
A movie that I have actually seen many times.
We're talking Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. Kate
Winslet. Jack Black. Motherfucking beautiful Jude Law. Yeah.
And then definitely some other
supporting cast of amazing actors as well. Solid plot.
Okay, but I'm finding out that more and more people that I know have not seen it.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating to me because as somebody who has not seen so many movies.
Well, almost always if I ask you anything, it's no, I've
this
never
is
seen
a
it.
popular movie though.
Yeah, huge.
How it must have just been like the perfect time in my life for it to come out.
Well, obviously there's like one of the first scenes she's rocking out to Mr. Brightside. Mm-hmm. But that's like right when it came out.
Yeah.
So that's like 05, 06.
I think we said it was 06.
Yeah.
Which I would have been kind of beginnings of high school.
Yeah.
And I think it was just the perfect timing. You were probably,
I was busy in college.
In the middle of college. Yeah. And I don't know. It was fascinating to me that you had not seen it. And I had seen it many times.
Yes.
But it was just so perfect. We got home from Christmas morning. Matt was pretty violently hungover.
I may have been a little hungover. I did not puke.
So I just was like, just sit on the couch for a few hours. It'll be chill. And I turned on the TV because we have old people cable.
Well, what happened?
Flipping through the guide.
Let me backtrack a little bit. What always happens at Christmas with either family is we just start drinking early.
Every family.
And you start drinking all day.
Yeah.
And it's right there. And my parents, they don't drink the liquor they have. So they spend all year accumulating.
Well, we walk in the door and your mom is actively pulling it out from like behind the shelf to put it on the shelf so that it's on display. It's like, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, and they save it all year for me.
Yeah.
So I feel obligated. Like, I better make a sizable dent in this or else I'm disrespectful, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm
that's
Scrooge.
Exactly what they're thinking.
I don't want to be a Scrooge.
Yeah.
So I'm trying the holiday cheer, the spirit. I'm trying to bequeath it onto the people.
Yeah. But
next thing I know, I'm sweating and almost puking watching a 7-year-old at 8 a.m. open her presents.
That is some uncle vibes.
That's pretty uncle. That's pretty uncle.
That's pretty uncle. But yeah, we sat down and watched The Holiday, and
well,
I was
it was
so
perfect
happy
timing. Like you said, we walked in. We've been squawking about it for months. You've been bringing it up. We come in. I'm hungover. I just sit on the couch. I don't want to move, and it's starting right then.
Oh, I think you were like changing clothes. I was like, Matt, The Holiday starts in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Get your ass on the couch.
I put on a hoodie. I get comfed up.
I like cleaned up. I was like milling about. I was like doing things.
Oh, you were active.
You were just like, the what were the like don't do drugs commercials where they're like melting into the couch?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You were.
This is me on drugs.
Almost,
right?
yeah. You were almost in that state, but but it was perfect, and I'm really glad that you've now seen it.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed it.
I'm really glad you enjoyed The Holiday.
I did.
Yeah.
How was your day?
Great. It was a good day.
Kind of a whizzy day.
Yeah, another fun whizzy day. It started out cleaning Parlor Suites, which once again, it was nice to start the day cleaning.
Yeah.
Although we've spent a lot of time organizing recently. We kind of shifted. We talked about this before, but we really shifted our apartment, which has just kind of shifted our mindset in a lot of different ways. So, I mean, yesterday we cleaned out our whole closets and
Well,
dressers.
you and I decided
and
to Freaky Friday our dressers.
For some reason.
We were just like, you know what? But I think, how healthy was it to take everything out of the dresser?
Always.
Go through every single article.
Always.
So we just switched dressers.
Yeah.
Why not?
No,
I'm still like...
Having those purges is so nice. And I mean, it's fun to do it at a time when it is signifying a shift. The start of the year, the start of a season, the end of a season, something. It's like when you can kind of double whammy those, you're kind of setting yourself up for some decent success. And not gonna lie, I felt pretty great. Well, okay. I felt really good.
Go on.
Yesterday, we ran.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, I'm a runner now.
You're a runner now. I was not confident we would.
Yeah, we ran.
You were like, get up.
And I don't know, what the fuck else did we do yesterday? Some other stuff that was productive. Was feeling really good. We cooked dinner. It was great. And then we watched the most anxiety-ridden movie I've seen.
Juror number 2.
In a really long time. Juror number 2.
I had not even heard of it.
Neither had I. It just like somehow popped up on my Instagram
It's a Clint Eastwood
feed.
joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't even go into the details of it. If you don't want to be anxious, do not watch Juror number 2. It was a great movie. I went to bed feeling like absolute garbage. I felt so great all day, and then we watched that movie, and I was like, bad move.
It was just another
bad move.
I guess, ensemble cast, like The Holiday, in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah.
We looked at it, watched the trailer. I was like, Toni Collette, Kiefer Sutherland, Nicholas. I was just like,
what's his name? The guy who played the other juror.
Oh, J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, I was like, what? Well, how have I not heard that this directed by Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. And it's just on Max.
Yeah.
This is not an advertisement for Juror number 2.
Yet.
But if they want to sponsor us, we'll be stressful.
Well, we just gave, yeah. I don't know if it was a great review. Anxious, but good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, all that to say.
You woke up today stressed?
Not necessarily, but I didn't go to bed feeling that great. So I was a little bit like, how am I going to feel when I wake up? And I got up and cleaned. And I've said this before, but just doing that almost right away, it really, really sets you up nicely for the day.
Yeah.
So did that, did my normal stuff. Got to see little Richard today.
Yeah,
Got
Richard
to have my
was good.
first ride of the new year. Richard, he was good. He was, so winter at the barn is an interesting place.
It is heated.
It's heated, yes. But just winter in general, there's less turnout. Winter. So the horses, everybody gets a little stir crazy. And even if the horses go outside, it's muddy or, God forbid it's icy or something, they're not running around. They're not bucking. They're not letting the energy out.
How often are they turned out typically?
I mean, daily for
so
at
every
least
day,
a couple
every horse
hours.
is turned out.
Yeah.
During the winter.
And it's funny because some horses absolutely need it. Other horses could not care less. Richie's kind of on the couldn't care less. He's like, whatever. Like, it's nice to be outside.
But he does need to get the energy out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I got there today, he was outside. And it's fun because I can always see him in the paddocks as I'm driving up. So I normally roll down my window and I'm like, Richie. And he pops his little head up and he's like, hi. And so today I rolled down the window and he looked at, and I could just, I don't know if I could really tell, but he looked at me like, come get me now. And I was like, okay. So I dropped my stuff and pretty much immediately went outside to get him. And he was at the gate, like, let me out of here. I do not want to be here. This sucks. And a ton of the other horses that were out were also getting a little antsy. And anytime a horse is shifted, whether you're bringing them in or bringing them out, usually if you're bringing them in, the other horses are like, well, I want to come in too. I don't want to be left out alone.
They're herd animals. Yeah.
Yes. So, Richie is just at the gate, basically busting it, let me out. So I get him out, and then the horse next to him is literally rearing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is madness. And he's Richie's prancing in place. I'm like, oh my God, we just need to get inside. So we go inside, and, it was fine. But I was kind of like, what is going to happen today because of this? And long story short, we ended up having a great lesson, great ride. But every single person I talked to at the barn today was just, the first thing they said was, have you looked at the forecast? Because, and it's a thing that we very much have to keep our eye on in the horse world, but everyone's like, it's going to be 3 next Thursday. And I was like, well,
so insane.
Lucky me, I'm going to South Carolina next Thursday.
Yeah.
So
then we've riffed on it before, but like when you're in Ohio, you have to talk about the weather.
You really do.
You know, because it is so manic. It could be it could be 60 tomorrow. It could be 3.
Yeah, truly. But
yes.
But yeah, so had some barn time today, which is really nice, and then came home and we tried out our new home music studio.
Well, that was the catalyst for us rearranging. We were will they, won't they, as far as staying in our apartment, where you're like, all right, we will. We had all this unused square footage.
Yeah.
Then we rearranged, and I'm looking at what I keep looking at is I'm looking at it behind you right now, and it looks fucking awesome.
Well, it's just nice. We actually were able to put down our pedal boards, have a microphone stand.
We can imitate more of a live show. In the rehearsal space in our own house.
I mean, honestly, most of the stages we play on are so like tiny. Not even as big as the space that we have in there.
No,
so it's a pretty good representation.
What do you think's
of what
the
it's
smallest
like to be
stage? I always thought
Royal American.
I was just going to say Royal American was always really funny because it's South Carolina, Charleston, great bar, love it. The stage is even with the bar top.
Yeah.
So you can like meander onto the bar. I used to always do that.
And actually they have the way, you can load gear on the front of the stage, but there's no step right there.
Right.
So it's kind of like heaving it up,
and
or
we're
then
talking like
propping yourself up
4 feet up.
Oh, easily, yeah. But where the steps are is behind the bar. So you're like with your guitars, like, oh, excuse me, with the bartenders,
but I would say
serving the patrons.
Roughly 10 by 10 feet, maybe.
Oh, God. I don't know.
8 by 8?
I always think, I'm a little over 5 feet. So, like, how many of me's can lay down?
Yeah, barely. So maybe it's 8 by 8.
8 by 8, yeah.
But then, so you get, two amps up there. Well, there's no chance of a drum kit.
Yeah.
So typically, one of those things, and a lot of venues, you end up doing this, like you'll set the gear on the stage and play on the floor.
Yeah. Which doesn't help for us because we're short.
We're short.
The funniest thing, so many times I've gotten off stage, especially if somebody doesn't know me and they come up to me right after or at the merch table, and like they are truly like, oh, whoa. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're so much shorter than I thought you were.
Well, you're proportioned well.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
So you look like you could be taller.
I think that's but when you're
like
on
if you were
stage,
from a distance,
you would have
it's
no
hard
idea.
to tell. Like,
I
can't tell, and turns out you're tiny.
But it is really funny, and so many people are like looking down, like, oh, whoa, did not realize you were like. A lot of people are like, I knew you were short, but like not that short. I'm like, is that an insult? I don't know, but Royal American's probably the smallest stage, but fucking great crowd. That bar is
great crowd,
wonderful.
Great bar.
I love that bar.
I love it.
Yeah.
They've always been so kind. Rock shows, decent food. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just a good, solid rock bar.
And it's super close to, like, downtown Charleston area.
Yeah, I mean, it's considered downtown for sure. But yeah, I'm trying to think like any other like really small stages that stand out. That's really the first one. Mm-hmm. I mean, every stage is so different.
Well, all stages in New York City are like typically.
If it's even a stage, if it's not just haul all your shit down the steepest goddamn steps in Brooklyn, stone steps and then play on the floor, and then just play in a corner on the floor.
It's a wet basement.
Yeah,
has not been touched since 1750.
Yeah,
good luck.
That was a pretty funny.
Well, it was the wrong shoe choice.
Well, this was before I got smart.
It was 2019.
This is 2019.
I was working in Brooklyn.
We were really...
I was working in New York.
Yeah, King Serpent was sort of in its beginning. This was like our first kind of tour with King Serpent. Obviously, we had toured with other bands and played a lot, but I don't know. I just thought that loading gear in heels was going to be fun because it had been fine. I'd been doing previously. It for years and years and years, even down some steps. And I don't know. I got a little cocky and I think I was wearing really tall heels, and we got to the venue having no idea that it was a basement venue. Mm-hmm. This is this bar called Heart Bar. And they were great. Like, they were so nice. But we got in and we're like, hey, it's like, where should we set up? And they were like, oh, the venue's downstairs. And we're like, okay, whatever. We'll go check it out. Oh my God.
It was intense.
It was steps to hell, truly.
Yeah, and there was like a switchback.
Depths of hell.
It was like down and around.
But like stone and stone walls on either side. And
there was like nothing to grab onto.
Nothing to grab onto, and our gear was fucking heavy. And so I just took my shoes off. I was like, I'm better
if I get ringworm or
if
whatever.
if I get a cut or something, that's better than me dropping this on Matt's face.
Well, it was the only time I think ever where you were like, I can't do it.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
said,
Normally I push myself
through.
to like limits I probably should not.
But you looked at me and then I had to like fucking halftime coach you. I had to like locker room be like,
yeah.
Today's the day where you fucking decide, are you a fucking rock star or not? Are you gonna get off your fucking ass and do this shit?
There was another. We'll come back to that because there's actually a better example of that later on. But anyway, yeah. So took my shoes off and we ended up like getting the gear down there, but we also I think did it in a way where I should have been maybe going down first or something. But I remember we finally got the gear down there, and then we had fucking hours to kill before the show actually started. So we were upstairs.
Hurry up and wait.
And I really never experienced like that much muscle fatigue where it's like my back just doesn't fucking work. Like I am so physically exhausted because my muscles, I just tore every single one of them. And it was really hard to play that show. I remember then it was like 1,000 degrees because this was like
hot.
late July.
I remember I wanted to wear a suit jacket.
I just fucking I mean, it was hard. It was just hard to get into the show. It was a great crowd, and there were people that we loved that were there. But I just remember I was like, I've never felt this so physically exhausted. Yeah. It's kind of scary. But we got through it. Rock and roll. But the last.
Are you talking about Nashville?
I'm talking about Nashville.
I knew you were going to talk about Nashville. I blame the bone marrow.
Okay, we went out to dinner with some friends and went to a really cool restaurant, and it was the first time I had bone marrow.
Was this like the same run? Was this like they were close together? Because that was all.
No, because Brooklyn was July. This was October. Because this was our actual tour.
Yeah, we did the 10
But this is all 2018.
Yep.
And let's just say, Liz woke up with food poisoning.
Yes.
And Liz had really bad food poisoning.
Everything.
I mean, just everything.
Everything.
Just if there was something in my body, it was coming out somewhere.
We understand. Yes.
And I won't go into any more details, but I just remember like the whole day just thinking like there's no way I can do it. There's no fucking way I can do it. And you just kept you were out like running errands, you're out doing things, and then you kept coming back and you're like, so how are you? And I'm like, absolutely awful. Just we're gonna have to cancel the show. We're gonna have to cancel the show. And you're like, just keep pushing through. And I fucking pushed through.
And I was like, that's the hottest thing I've ever seen.
But I remember loading gear was miserable because I was just so weak.
Yes.
And I remember just like every time I would take an amp out of the van, I'd have to like sit on the van for a minute. And then it was just so sad because like people came to the show and everyone wants to talk, and like it's so fun to see people when you're on tour. Like that's one of the best parts of it. And I was just like, I can't even open my mouth right now. I need to conserve whatever energy I still have.
Well, you're dehydrated.
It's awful. But you know what? I'm so fucking happy that I did it.
You would have hated yourself if you did not do it.
I really would have. And so pushing through, unless you like physically cannot stand or faint or something. And that obviously can be done with anything.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That doing.
It means because you did that.
Yeah. Now I know that I can do other things.
Now when other adversity hits, you're more confident in it. You're like,
remember when you were?
Oh yeah, I thought I was on
stage?
Death's doorstep. I'm all liquids coming out of my body from every orifice, and I fucking went ahead and went for it, and you did it and crushed.
And I did it. Yeah. And I don't even think it was our worst show, to be honest.
I don't either.
I really don't. But oh my god, normally I like forget about times when I'm sick, like how I felt.
But that one.
No, I will never forget that.
Also, we stayed at a hotel in Nashville that half of it had burned down. Remember that?
Yes. It was like a motel.
Arson.
It was like, but it was arson. Well, was it?
It was like a tax. I thought it was attempted suicide.
I think it was like an attempted suicide thing, or like murder suicide.
Yeah, but yeah, half the motel was burned down. It still smelled.
Yeah, like we were in the renovated part.
Right.
And then we checked in and we were like, oh, you guys doing some renovations? And the person at the desk was just like,
bro,
listen up.
Yeah.
I literally think it was like a murder-suicide type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like arson. Like it wasn't the person who owned the building was trying to get insurance.
Somebody
or
Google
anything.
that 2019 motel in Nashville.
I don't even know what year it happened, but it was something nefarious, that's for sure.
Well, I'm supposed to let people know. Tonight, I'm drinking the Jameson 18 year.
Nice.
Thank you, Charlie. One of the perks of my job is often that clients bring me bottles of liquor. It's great.
Yeah.
You put it out in the universe that, hey, I'm into bourbon, and the universe provides.
It really does. Yeah. I'm drinking water.
That's what
I'm
I should
also
be drinking.
already in my cozies and my comfy cozies.
Well, yeah. Well, we jammed. We did dinner.
Showered. I'm basically ready for bed right now.
I had a lot of meat.
Feeling great.
Day 2.
Well, freaking carnivore diet.
Day 2.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
Do you?
I never had any problem before when I did it last year.
But like your energy feels good.
Energy feels good.
You're not bored with it yet.
No, I don't. Well,
I would get so bored.
I diversify though.
Yeah.
You know, like last night we made ribs and that was really fun. And then tonight I like pounded out chicken breast. I put down salami and manchego cheese and rolled it up and salt pep. And then I made like a Duke's mayo has 0 carbs.
That's awesome.
So I made a little aioli with the Green Goddess seasoning.
Yeah.
And dipped pork rinds in it. I mean, it was an
I
elaborate meal.
I should probably start. I don't know. I love food.
Who doesn't?
I know, but I think it's probably healthier to approach food as an energy source rather than something that's entertaining.
What did someone was saying? Food is the only thing that you can get addicted to that you need.
Oh.
Like you can have like a food addiction, but it's like anything else you're typically addicted to isn't something that you like need.
Right. And then the things that you need.
Drugs or alcohol or water, oxygen.
I was going to say water and oxygen. Like I guess you're not, you are craving oxygen. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. It's because of all the shit we put in the food.
Well, additives,
Yeah.
But I think because you do need it, you've created art and industry around it. I don't know. I feel like it would suck. Well, that's what they say about Ozempic. It takes away the pleasure of eating.
Right.
And for a lot of people who are obese, who are now taking Ozempic, they like spiral into depression.
Because you don't have
because the shit tastes bad.
Yeah.
Part of one of the side effects of it is the enjoyment of eating is gone.
Yeah.
Which was probably for a lot of people who are overweight. You really like fucking eating.
Yeah.
You know, or at least like the pageantry and sweets and the things that shoot off everything in your brain.
Oh yeah. I mean, everything in moderation. That's truly
that's the secret.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, if I could just switch my mindset a tiny bit to like, you really just need this to then make yourself feel good and energized but basically I just ate way too many little butternut squashes and I'm really full right now.
You just had an entire squash. Well, and also
no, I did not have an entire squash.
She just had like 3 squashes. Did you eat 13? That's a lot of squash. No, what happened is because I'm still cooking for 2.
Yeah, we need to stop that.
But I'm eating
just
the meat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but it was delicious and it's fun. I'm running in the morning because I'm a runner now.
Someone listening is going to be like, oh no, she ate too much squash.
I know.
Like, get over yourself. It really wasn't chocolate cake. It wasn't a bunch of like lattes,
Yeah.
Like
definitely I've shifted to
or
more of a savory tooth than a sweet tooth.
I always have been. I think that's why I don't have like a lot of teeth problems is I've always...
For some reason I thought you were going to say something like I don't have a lot of teeth.
I don't have a lot of teeth. No, I got a lot of teeth.
You do have a lot of teeth.
But just like dental issues is I've never like
you better knock on wood right now.
I know. Yeah. Well, I'm sitting at a wood table here.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it, I just don't eat candy ever.
Yeah.
You know, hard candies or any I've never had a chocolate, a little treat.
Well, it's just, I mean, they say that, what is it, every like 7 years, your taste buds sort of like.
Yeah. Well, you shed them and so you have new ones. Yeah.
Which I've never actually looked that up to see if that's a real thing. But I do feel like, I mean, as I've gotten older and maybe just been aware of that, like there are things now that I enjoy that I did not before.
Well, olives, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Those are a big one. Really didn't like, what's funny, because I didn't like what are like staples in Mediterranean food. I wasn't a big fan of feta cheese. Now I'm like, no, I don't crave those things necessarily, but I enjoy them when I eat them. Mm-hmm. Like, it's fine. I remember just thinking a Kalamata olive was the
Disgusting.
worst possible thing
Great.
ever. And now, once again, don't crave it. Don't need to eat a million of them. But like, I am fine with them on things. I'm fine eating them. I don't know. Bodies are so weird. Just to round that up, bodies are weird, man.
Thinking about bodies, everybody Google this later. Do you remember the bodies exhibit?
No.
That was like, so it went to all the history museums, but it was basically like these bodies
Like
without
when?
skin. The early 2000s up
no, I
till
don't know
maybe
about
2016.
Okay.
So basically it was like skeletons with muscles, with all their veins.
Oh,
There were
cool.
these preserved bodies.
Oh, real bodies.
Real bodies, human bodies, and they put them in different action poses, and they would show you like they'd peel away parts of it. These were real human bodies.
Yeah, I mean, people who donated their bodies.
They donated their bodies to science, and so this was it was on tour forever. It was like one of the biggest exhibits in America.
Sorry.
Well, no need to be sorry. I'm just this one I'm surprised about because
Yeah.
it was like I definitely came to Cincinnati and Columbus, and
Okay.
it was like at everywhere.
Well, I was in Dayton.
Well, between those two cities.
Yeah.
Well, flash forward 15 years later, it turns out the bodies were Chinese,
Okay.
and a lot of them were from prisons, and a lot of them were people who were like against the Chinese government and just disappeared.
Oh, wow.
And now it's like, now this whole thing has come out where like actually there's questionable sources of where the bodies came from.
Well, we just saw a news story about a guy who was like illegally selling bodies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was he a mortician or?
No, he worked for a university.
Yeah.
So it was like the university were trying to like get bodies, but then he was like selling bodies to colleges. That's what it was.
But like out of
It was
a
Las
strip
Vegas.
mall.
It was in Las Vegas.
It was like a weird
was out of a
office
strip
in a
mall.
strip mall.
Yeah.
And somehow this guy, how was he getting bodies?
I forget how he was sourcing the bodies. I think
He was, I mean, not like, he wasn't the coroner, obviously. That's an elected official. But he did something.
well, and he had tons of bodies improperly in storage.
Right,
So
right.
he just had stacks and stacks of bodies that were like not properly at the right temperature. They were
Yeah.
like not being registered.
Yeah.
And then he was trying to sell those to colleges, but the ones that
I feel like that story too. Once again, haven't done the actual research on it, but it was just like a little story on the news, like, oh, and blip, this thing's happening. Blip,
Yeah.
let's go to something else, and we were like, what?
Well, and the funniest and not funniest is people who have donated their bodies to science, and then Lockheed Martin or different aeronautics companies buy them and just shoot them.
Or just shoot them.
They just shoot them. They just shoot them with machine guns.
I don't know why I went to
They shoot,
shooting
but,
them
well,
into space,
but they'll strap them to rockets and blow
Yeah.
them up. But it's just like grandma,
Ay, vey.
like, wanted to donate her body to cure cancer, and instead some
You're
billion-dollar
like,
corporation,
you just said you wanted to donate it to science.
some billion-dollar corporation just buys it and they just blow her the fuck
oh
up.
my god. Oy. Well, I mean,
We'll probably
I
be able
have
to.
no plans for my body. You could just brush my ashes away into the trash can.
Well, there's
I
a
don't
couple of
care.
fun things. I've already told my parents that
Yeah, this is a good idea.
specifically. There's a company. I'm sure there's more now. When I looked this up 20 years ago,
Yeah,
I told
yeah.
them it was based out of London, but they'll take your loved one's ashes and press them into vinyl.
Yeah.
So you get like 25 copies of a vinyl record, and your parents pick the playlist to all
Yeah.
their favorite songs, and then whenever you think about them or just for fun, you're like, well, I'm gonna put on Mom.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah. That's a cool idea.
That's a fun idea
There's no way in hell I'd be able to pick the songs
for your own
for my own.
track
No
list.
way.
What would be some of them?
Truly cannot.
Yes.
No. Maybe. No. See,
Muse.
that I don't know.
End with Knights of Sidonia.
I mean, that would be cool.
This is how I want to go out, right here.
Yeah, I mean, truly, I don't know, because what I would probably end up doing is picking a song from like each kind of chapter in my life. But I mean, I don't know how long I'm gonna live, so
Right.
it's only if I knew. And like, I have no idea. I really can't answer this question. I love so many songs.
Yeah.
I love so many styles of music. I appreciate all sorts of things. I will say, and this has been a thing for years now, one of the albums that I can listen to front to back, there's not many anymore that I really have the patience for, and it's Neutral Milk Hotel and the Airplane Over the Sea.
All right.
I'm sure, like we've talked about in the past, it was just at a very like
right.
pivotal moment, formative time in my life. But I love that album so much. I love every single song on it.
Yeah.
And it's a great album. So maybe there'd be something off of that, but God, I don't know. Just this, I mean, I can think of songs that like my mom would put on when she was cleaning the house when I was 5 or something, and I hear it now.
Or Talking Heads or something.
A lot of like Alanis and Natalie Merchant, and but yeah, REM.
What's the Circus? Is that the or what's
Carnival?
Carnival. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So it's like, would I want to include one of those? I don't know, because it doesn't really represent me, but it's something that I love so much. I think of it as a song that I love because of what it reminds me of.
Right.
But I don't know. You, what do you think?
Oh, gee.
Make it quick. Make it quick.
Yeah, I'd say Guns N' Roses, Appetite came out the year I was born. Boom. Okay. So something off of that for sure. It was also the first cassette, then the first CD I owned.
That's
so
cool.
I bought the cassette when I was like 12.
Cool.
And then when I got my car and I had a Discman with the 30-second anti-skip with the cassette tape adapter. That I put into the car. I bought Appetite CD.
Cool.
Rock that. So something off that. But then obviously my taste is like all over the place. Like now I'd have like weird country in the mix and soul. I mean, I listen to funk and soul almost every day. So Charles Bradley, Manahan Street Band. It'd be very hard to do.
It'd be hard. Yeah. So you're tasking your parents with something quite daunting.
Well, it's funny because when I was in high school, my mom would I would make her mix CDs.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I probably somewhere have like essentially
what she would want.
It's kind of yacht rocky.
Oh, I can see that.
It's a little Hall & Oates, Steely Dan, Christopher Cross. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I don't know. What do you want to do with your body?
I mean, I don't need a traditional burial
at
all. Like, I don't see the value in that. If there's a possibility of like it being used as fertilizer or something in some constructive way, you know, I guess so. Otherwise, I don't know, skin me. Maybe just like a saint, you just put me in a glass box on display.
Let whatever. I mean, when you're in a glass, so
I don't think they embalm
saints. Them. Yeah, it's just truly decomposition without natural elements.
They might drain them.
Oh yeah, you probably because otherwise that might kind of fill up.
So they don't bloat. So they might drain them, but I don't think they embalm them.
And then it's just true decomposition.
But if we're going to Boney Tony's, we'll probably find out.
Yes.
So stay tuned for more information about how saints decompose.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's the one in England we just saw. They have her hand.
Yeah.
Like a full hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. We'll figure it out. Anyway, back to living things.
We're alive. Yes.
Yeah.
We start rehearsal. I'm excited for that. You said you feel good about Pat Benatar?
Good about all of them. Yeah. So for the cover set that we're doing in Springfield, what do we have? We have Jane by
Jefferson Starship. Starship.
Pat Benatar, Heartbreaker.
Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, which I sang backups on.
We did that before.
Once before, but I've never sang lead on it, so I'm looking forward to that.
Rock and Roll Fantasy.
Rock and Roll Fantasy.
By Bad Company on the Bad Company.
Yeah. And motherfucking Kickstart My Heart.
Kickstart My Heart. I mean,
all I want to do is a high kick. I just want to do a high kick to start that goddamn song off.
Always wanted to do Kickstart My Heart. Motley Crue, however you feel about them, that song bangs.
Yeah.
And if you've read The Heroin Diaries, which is Nikki Sixx's biography, his separate one, not The Dirt, his own. He claims that he wrote it after a heroin overdose.
Okay.
And the story is that which Slash.
Oh, Kickstart My Heart. That's what you're talking about. Yes.
But
I thought you meant his book.
Slash actually found him and got him to the hospital.
Oh, that's right.
But Nikki Sixx is overdosing. He wakes up in the hospital after they revive him, and they've cut his shirt off, but he still has his leather pants and his boots on.
Yeah.
Then he reaches into his boots and he has a syringe of fucking heroin, and he stumbles out into the parking lot and shoots up and then writes "Kickstart My Heart."
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck, bro?
Do I want that to be true?
Well,
I don't know.
It's one of those like tall tale, like rock and roll mythology things. You're like, you don't want to condone or like glorify drug use, obviously, but it's like,
damn, it's cool.
Damn, it's just wild.
It's wild. It's not
wild.
Even cool. It's just wild.
No, it's kind of cool. But it's like a crazy thing to be able to write your most banging song.
Yeah.
Probably your biggest hit. And also like at a time of just like access, you were already the biggest band and now you wrote the song that you have to end every show with.
Of course.
For the rest of your career, you end with Kickstart My Heart.
Absolutely.
Every fucking time. Yeah.
Songwriting is weird.
It is. I don't believe that. So, younger me was always a big believer that you sort of wait for inspiration.
Right.
And now I'm a big believer that you have to work for inspiration.
I agree.
That you have to convince the muse to show up, that you have to cultivate it, you have to like show up every day.
Yeah.
Whether it's, if it's writing music, do you want to write a good album? Well, you have to fucking get up every day and sit with whatever your instrument is and try.
Yeah.
And you just have to try every day. If you wait around, it's never going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's with anything. And I think that's a lesson that you learn as you get older. And the more times because the more things that you work on and you find success in, you'll realize that those are the ones you actually tried.
Yeah.
And yes, maybe you have a couple of instances in your life where something just happened relatively out of the blue. I'm sure you could kind of, look back and see where it stemmed from. But 9 times out of 10, if not 9.9 times out of 10, your successes come from showing up, doing the work, trying, being there, etc. So I think songwriting is the exact same way. And
it gets easier the more you do it.
Absolutely. I used to despise songwriting. I really like finding melodies. I like doing melodies.
Well, that's sort of our process, right?
Yeah. Like you are way better at sitting down and just hacking away at the guitar and coming up with sort of the instrumentation of the song. And then I like to come in over top of that and say, all right, melody, here we go. This is how it's going to flow. And boom.
Well, and working with you for a while, then I'm like, okay, I'll try and leave space.
Right.
Because it's easy, like, especially with modern technology, like, I can layer as much shit as I want.
Yeah.
So I could put a bunch of melodies over top, but then that doesn't leave space.
I feel like anytime you've done that, I come in and I'm like, get this out. Like I can't hear anything over what you've already done. I need it to be as stripped down as possible. And then we can build off of that. And what's fun is like finding the vocal melody and then adding in the instrumental melodies that either, fill the space or they complement the vocal melodies.
My absolute favorite thing in the studio is aux percussion.
Matt loves the aux percussion.
Oh my God, I'm so good at tambourine. That's why I love it, because I'm like so fucking good at
Well, everybody thinks that they can play tambourine and they get a tambourine in their hand and they are a fool.
Oh yeah.
Myself included.
Yeah.
Tambourine is hard.
It's so
famously hard, but very fun. And I mean, aux percussion, the funnest thing is just when you're at the studio and the producer brings out the fucking box of aux percussion instruments and you're just going through and it's a triangle and it's maracas and it's the what do you call these little things?
It's not. I want to say calamados.
I want to call them clavicles.
No. It's not.
Whatever, the little like Spanishy things. And you just go to town, the little frog thing.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I love a vibra slap.
A vibra slap.
That's my
is
jam.
So fun.
I think Lex and I think every Cadaver Dogs record has at least one.
Yeah.
I think we carried it into Skulks.
We had one too, although I will say we did not use a real one. We used a sample. A sample. Yeah. So we lose.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's the thing now is with all this technology, you have just every sound, every instrument you could possibly want. I just
downloaded a whole new Logic updated, and I just downloaded like 20 new musicians. So now I've got all these studio. I don't know. I haven't even gone through it yet. I just reset up the new interface. So.
Oh my God, we played Guitar Hero on New
Year's
Eve.
Fucking also New Year's. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It was so much fun.
It was so fun.
And I think one of my first statements, because at first we were like, oh yeah, we all got this. Like we used to play, like I definitely got to expert on a couple songs. We all sat down and like couldn't even get past medium.
Yeah.
But I remember like one of the first things I said was like, I don't know. There's something hot about somebody who can play guitar.
Well, then the other girls agreed.
Yeah.
They were like,
God, it's kind of hot to watch him play guitar here. I was like, What is wrong with us? Like,
it's not
we
a real
play
guitar.
fucking guitar.
Yeah. It's not a real guitar.
Play real guitar and shred guitar. And
so anyway, I ordered it. We're buying Guitar Hero.
Did you really?
No, I didn't.
Oh, God. Well, it's like we'd have to buy some sort of...
We'd have to buy a PlayStation or Xbox.
Yeah,
or
a console. We don't
we
have
could
anything.
probably just play it on the computer.
You could probably just play it on the
I
computer.
don't know, just play it on the computer. We got like a...
Next to our real guitars.
We got a good sound system in there, too.
Next
so
to our
that'd
real
be banging.
guitars. Our poor guitars would just be weeping. They'd be like, what's happened? No, we won't. Well, maybe. What I would like more than anything... Dance Dance Revolution.
DDR, baby. I've never really played it.
Oh my God, it's so fun. It's a workout.
I played
so
it like
fun and it's
once
a
or
workout.
twice at an arcade, you know, with a big setup.
Well, like we always had the mat, just like the at-home one. And so the few times I went to an arcade and they had the real one, I was awful because it's so different. It's way bigger and it's, I don't know, it's just harder. But I could dance the fuck out of some DDR.
Sure, let's get some DDR.
That would be really fun.
We could do it on the carpet, yeah.
Yeah. Or on the big screen, hello.
Yeah, obviously you want to
move
do
the
it
coffee table, DDR. I think it comes with 2 mats, so you are playing against somebody, which is fun. You can do it by yourself or don't quote me on that.
We probably need a console.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't looked into what modern day DDR is, so
you're right.
We'll see, but
it's probably wireless.
I don't think it's going to be the winter of video games. I'm going to try really hard for it to not be. But damn, was it fun to play Guitar Hero?
It was very fun to play. Well, now we can just it's an excuse to go over and visit and be like, hey,
hi, we're coming over to play
Guitar Hero right
It's
now.
like we're in high school again. Yeah. And I love it. It's so great. What we need is Rock Band.
I know, so we all can play at the same time.
Because we're not all musicians that can form a real goddamn band.
I know. Monday night we'll be practicing as a real band.
But then probably go home and play
Guitar
Rock Band.
We definitely had it when we had the band house. So that was like Cole, Lex, and I, and everyone else who lived at the house. We would just play Rock Band all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But we rehearsed in the basement, and then we would
go upstairs and play
Rock Band.
Yeah.
Like it was so silly.
It's so different, though.
It is.
It's fun. I mean, one of the funniest things was trying to play Guitar Hero the other night, and like
it's not the same pattern.
It's not the same pattern. So I was trying to do what you would do on a guitar,
actual guitar,
and it was like, and I was basically losing because I wasn't just following the game. I was
the noises it makes when you hit a wrong note.
Yeah,
they're so funny.
Pretty insulting.
It make you feel terrible about your life.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know. It's really bad, but it was really fun.
It was really fun.
It was a good time.
It was a good New Year's.
It was like,
very
it was
calm.
The perfect combination of being out but not really doing much.
Well, and I was thinking like, okay, the Uber back was $50.
That was so fucking stupid.
But if we had gone out,
absolutely, I thought about that too.
We would have spent $200 easy.
But if we went straight in,
wow. But I was like, at the end of the night, they're like less than $100 for the evening,
right?
You know, and like what a.
And New Year's Eve.
And New Year's Eve, and what a great way to spend it with people you like. And,
absolutely, yeah. It was a good time.
It was a good time.
It was a very good time. So we stayed in 2 years ago. We did a kind of half going out thing this year. And I would say if I had it my way, I'd probably stay in. But
you talking about your street fight?
No, and I'm not gonna get into that. But I got in a street fight. That was 2019.
That was 2019.
No, that was. I mean, it was
going into 2020 into COVID. Street fight. I would love to do like a black tie event on New Year's Eve. Whether at some point we host one or we go somewhere. It's got to be like the right place though. But I would love to, because I love dressing up. I really love dressing up, and it would be fun to really have to dress up, like wear a gown. Well, I think
wear the gloves.
I love the idea, and you've said it a bunch of times, of doing a brunch the following day, which would be casual, obviously.
Black tie brunch.
Let's
do it.
Black tie brunch.
Everyone would hate me.
But on New Year's Day, we hosted somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do more than anything is.
I think next year we'll have the space for it.
Kind of be the place where people come and we have quiches and we have donuts.
I think a bunch of finger foods.
It's just an open house.
Yeah.
It's just
Mimosa
come on
bar.
out. Yeah. Come over. We'll chat. We'll hang.
Yep.
It's just a nice way, and it gets us off the hook for New Year's Eve because I'm like, I have to prepare my quiche.
We have to prepare, but we'll see you guys in the morning.
Yeah,
come on over. We'll be there for you. Yeah.
It's a brilliant plan.
It's a great idea.
It's just really hard to get into our apartment.
Well, that's why we'll probably do it.
Not here.
Not here.
Yeah.
And we could either do it at one of our spaces or rent a space for the day, or
that could be fun.
Yeah, and there's a lot of options for that too.
Yeah, but I like that idea of it just being like open house. Come by
100%.
anytime you want.
Yep.
And we'll comfort you.
We'll comfort you.
We'll comfort you.
I feel like 2025.
Comfy. Yeah.
Comfy.
So I did this podcast all comfy. It's a cozy cast.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a good one.
Yeah, I think it felt pretty cozy.
So,
stay cozy.
Stay cozy.